What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know this is Muscle from the Entertainment Report podcast, shouting out who? The Man Dem show. We're talking about with guttz in Vegas. Check them out every single day on YouTube. You know what? 6 p.m. Check them out right now and leave me right here, right now. Bye.
So what about you? Yeah. Who else are you tapped into? Like, because I see when you do shout out your tunes that you have out there. Yeah. You don't really get to the name brand guys per se. You get real spitters and more rap, like the rappity rap guys.
Yeah, I mean,
is that by choice or?
I mean, it's a combination of choice and then also too is like trying to work with some of these artists. Unfortunately, some of them have egos and just want to try to charge you like $1,500 to $2,000 for a verse, and you're like, hey, like we'll do the song as a collab together. Like I'll be paying for everything. Like I'll be paying for studio time and paying for the production. If not, like I'm co-producing it, or I'm paying for like the video and stuff, right? And I guess also it's also timing too, right? I also have to build myself up as an artist too. Like I also know like what my limitations are, so I need to build myself up as an artist. So if I approach some of these more name brand artists, it's gonna make sense also for them too, where they're also not just gonna maybe, even if I pay them, they're gonna be like, yo, you know what, I want to get behind this because Andre's putting in his work and I respect what he's doing, and it's not only gonna help me, it's gonna help him and vice versa, right? So I mean, like 100%. I mean, shout out to like all the people that I've worked with, like Stay Out Late, to Young Cake, Primo, and Fab, and definitely I'm just down to work with artists that are hungry and just kind of want to get in, like let's get to it type of attitude, and also too, like I'm not into like the whole social media bullshit of dissing people and dead people like that. That's not my vibe personally, right? That works for maybe other people, but not for me, right? So like whatever songs I put out, I want to put out like even though I'm not rapping like the lyrics or whatever, singing the like lyrics, are songs that still reflect me as a person, right? I'm not gonna be a guy that's gonna be like, yo, like let's do a drill on your block. Like that's not my type of vibe. Like I may make the beat for you, cool, but that's not gonna be like my song that I'm putting out.
It's not gonna have Andre905 on that record. So
no, like you may hear my beat tag, but that's it. You're
not even a beat tag.
Maybe the beat tag may be taken off too.
If you're dissing somebody, take that beat tag off of that.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to get involved. Like because at the end of the day, as DJs, we're very accessible.
Yeah,
like
man.
like when we post where we're at, it's easy to get to any one of us. Like any DJ can get touched, and it can be touched at the drop of a hat. It's not like artists out here where you're living out up north, or you're living in like Ottawa or Montreal, and you're not in the city, so or you're posting like 2 days after you've been there. So that's different, right? As like a DJ, if we're at a venue, it's not that hard to wait outside the venue and get at like a certain DJ. It's not that hard, unfortunately, right?
Not at all.
And I've seen it happen, and I'm sure you guys have heard stories of like guys getting checked, right? And guys or girls getting checked, for that matter. So.
As a matter of fact, y'all motherfuckers stop checking the DJs, y'all. Instead, if the DJ's playing your ops, bring your fucking song and be like, yo, don't play that shit, play this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is what you need to play. So the DJ's not, and if the DJs doesn't play it, then maybe that's a different story. But
that would be such an easier thing if, like, 90% of these guys weren't freaking gangster. That's the problem, fam.
No, it's like
like 90% of the rappers nowadays they're all gangsters, so they're not thinking as a musician. They're not thinking,
as
hey,
exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not thinking. A musician would think as a business. Say, hey, why don't you play my song? Or here's here's $50, yo. Run this 2-3 times.
And
like they're not thinking like that.
Like there are some, there are some artists that do think about the business, that understand, hey, you know what? If you're gonna play my ops, I don't care. Like, you know what? I have to shout out like a guy like a Pilla beat, super good dude, and he's been at the club when I've been playing certain artists. And he even said, Andre, I don't care if you play my ops. He was like, honestly, I don't give a shit. Because you're a DJ. You're exempt from any beef I have. And I told him, I said, but you know what? Out of respect for you, I wouldn't play their songs if I know you're there. Because to me, it would be disrespectful to you.
Yeah, willingly know that the man is there and you're
play
playing
a certain song.
That's fucked up. That is wrong.
No, and like, trust me, like it's and like the thing is too, like it depends also too what song you're playing. Like if you're playing a song where dead people are getting dissed, and I'm playing in a club, I don't know who's there. we don't know who's there. That person's family member may be there.
Yeah.
And they may be, you know, and the thing is nowadays with like mental illness that's at an all-time high, you don't know what people's mind state are at. People may not be violent, but hearing the song could trigger them. And next thing you know, you're bottled or you're getting shot or you're getting dealt with because of like a 30-second song that you're playing.
When Pressa dropped Attachments, did you know right away about the disc,
Yeah,
or did somebody tell you?
No, because I listened to the song fully. And then what's crazy is that certain stations, like I'm not gonna name the station, but a certain station didn't know, and they were playing it with the names of the deceased people.
Yeah,
I had to tell the station, like, you guys got to be careful, and I edited, and I made like a re-edited version taking out those names, and I sent it to the station for them to play. So they were playing, you know, so they made sure, and even people at that station told me that they had to kind of be careful when they were doing some of their shows because they couldn't play certain artists back to back, because their shows would get played in jail and fights would happen on range because of that.
That's
wow.
Like this street shit is really deep into, like, people don't understand. Like, we know, but like to the outside listener, you may just think it's a 2-minute song, but you have to really understand people that are dying out here. Kids are dying, and you just got to be so careful.
Wow.
When did you see the change?
I'd say like 2015, 2016 is like when really like that new wave came in. I really feel like social media helped, because like, I mean, I've been following a lot of these artists for years, and you know, like the mid 2010s, even like the late 2000s, like 2008, 9, 10, like right when Drake was coming up, and there was so much talent even in those days, like guys like Tona, like JD Era, Ritche Sosa, you know, there was like so much talent.
Lou Breeze,
like Point Blank, like just so much talent, and just, you know, unfortunately, like a lot of those artists like Adam Bomb, like they all came out at a time where like unfortunately maybe
there
social
wasn't
media,
social media, there
MySpace,
wasn't,
but
yeah,
it wasn't as rampant, and like supporting Toronto wasn't cool. Like none of the
facts, talk the things.
you know, like none of the like the teams were winning. Like the Jays, Raptors, Leafs were all kind of horrible during that time. So it wasn't cool to say you're from Toronto. It wasn't cool to support Toronto as it is now, because now obviously from what Drake has done, Weeknd's done, like anywhere you can travel anywhere in the world. You say I'm from Toronto, first thing they ask you, oh, you know Drake, oh, you know Weeknd, oh, you know Nab, oh, you know Tory Lanez,
Justin
Pressa,
Bieber,
Smiley
now, yeah. So, and I think now too, like you're actually getting to see personalities. Also, a lot of these artists are like becoming personalities, like what you're seeing with what Smiley's doing, what Mula First is like doing, right? So you're seeing now that people outside of Toronto and outside Canada are like, oh, these guys are actual personalities that, okay, actually I rock with them because of their personality. So you know what, naturally I'm gonna see what, you know, like what type of songs and music they make.
It's funny you say that now, because when we won a championship in '93, it's a different effect than winning a fucking championship in 2019. Like it's a totally different, because social media bolstered that championship run. Like everybody was able to see it back. I mean, nobody, like back then when it's baseball and shit, and we run that back to back. It's like, yeah, the baseball world loved it. The city loved it, but if you're not playing baseball on the outside, it's like nobody really gives a shit.
I think it's also different too because of just like you said, the eras too, right?
Yeah.
Whereas baseball, it wasn't as big too, right? Like let's just say if they won it in like 96, 98, it would probably been even
a little bit better.
bit
probably
better.
Yeah.
But now basketball becomes one of the biggest sports in the world, and
And
now
it's-
we win it. Like that's a huge deal.
Like that moment was crazy. Like where were you? Sorry.
I was gonna. Well,
Sorry.
no,
I cut you off.
He needs his own show.
no, right? I was gonna say, did you DJ any of that season?
Yeah. So not for the actual Raptors, but I DJ'd. So when they were playing in the finals, I DJ'd at
The Mississauga.
Yeah, the Mississauga.
When they won.
Yeah, when they won. So it was called Jurrasic Park West for Mississauga, for West Side.
I remember. Yes.
So
yes.
those games. So what was crazy is that the city of Mississauga booked me to DJ the event. I mean, like all the games, and they were like, okay. So the first game, they're like, oh yeah, we're expecting 5,000 people to show up, and 25,000 people showed up.
Holy shit.
So they didn't even have railing by the stage, so anyone could have walked up to my DJ stage, to my DJ setup at that time. And then after game 2, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna have you know, cops and security, and we're gonna make it more strict. But yeah, man, like that experience was incredible, and to see like, you know, like the Raptors win the championship on like in my home city where I've like lived like most of my life, in front of 30,000 people was incredible.
Last time I
Incredible.
cried.
Yeah.
I
real.
cried, bro. I think like by game 3 or 4, I think even by the series before, I'm like, yo, we're gonna win, bro. But like, it you know when that's not real.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
yeah,
It
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
feel
It didn't.
real.
Honestly, it didn't feel real till I went downtown.
Yeah.
Like even after they won, like yo, I just started beating my floor. Like everybody, like we were in a
Oh.
building and all you just heard was just yelling. Like you just
Oh
heard
my God,
yelling,
it
but I
was-
was just like yeah, like fine, like
It was just like.
acceptance, like
It was like,
everything.
yeah, it was like the world, like everything. You know what? It's like,
finally.
Yeah.
and just to like see that and just to experience that and just like there was so much love in the city that day, like that weekend. It didn't matter. Well, you could cut someone off. They'd be like, "Have a nice day." No problem.
We're
The Raptors won, you know?
champions.
Like just even like the parade and everything. Like it was just so much unity in the city that even like all the gunmen that day, all the dudes that had problems were like, "Let's celebrate this and we'll
We'll swap it out.
we'll
sometime
deal with
now.
our
Yeah,
issues
yeah,
after." You know,
yeah.
well, let's enjoy this moment.
Yeah, because it
Everyone
was
has.
another. It was pretty much like another Caravana.
It was,
Yeah, yeah,
it was.
yeah,
It was literally
was.
another Caravana before Caravana, like a pre-Caravana before Caravana was there, and it was just
Yeah.
like it was just a good.
That whole summer was incredible. like.
Yeah, man, the whole
2019 summer
moment,
was-
29. But that's what I'm saying. Even just like you said, like even the music that was coming out at the time, everything was just. Even though it was a little bit oppy, but it was just so much more good, like
Yeah.
street music, like the
And there
street
was
music.
more like undeniable hits at the time. Sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off.
no.
but There was more undeniable hits. Like at that time, you had like Baka "Live Up to My Name."
Oh.
You had K Money "Come Outside," which I've never.
Jeez.
I think outside of that and Griselda Blanco are the big. I think Griselda Blanco is the Canadian national anthem. Like
Yeah, so that's bigger than "Come Outside to You."
I think so. I mean, like my opinion, because still to this day, you'll play both records and I'll gauge the reaction. And "Come Outside" still gets a crazy reaction, but Griselda Blanco, you can just cut like the volume and people will sing it out word for word. And I'm talking all cultures I've seen: Indians, Chinese, blacks, whites, Arabic. Like it doesn't matter the race, the creed, even like different age groups. I've seen like older people sing it, younger people like this. That is like a Canadian national anthem. And I told that to like 3M French, and he's like, "That's true. It's a national anthem."
It's funny that you said that now because I like Griselda Blanca better. But after seeing, I think it was Rolling Loud and they played "Come Outside" and he
Yeah.
wasn't there and the crowd reaction,
Nuts,
I
yeah.
think that "Come Outside's" a bigger song. But now that you say it, I feel like everybody knows Griselda Blanca's song lyric for lyric, word for word.
And the
I
thing
don't
is-
think it's a. I think after they're done with gang bang, you know, come on. I don't remember what he says. I don't
and
remember
the
his
thing
verse.
is,
No
too-
offense, Game Money, but
No. And the thing is too is that like Griselda Blanco, he has like like lyrics. Like people are saying lyrics word for word.
yes.
Even like parts where they're like falls, like just like that. Yeah. People do that. Like, and I'm talking like you're seeing like you're seeing Jane from like Waterloo, who's like a 19-year-old white girl screaming that out from the top of her lungs.
She's probably singing she don't work on the regs.
Yeah.
Tell her dumb bitch shut up.
Real
She was
shit.
screaming that part wholeheartedly. She had
No,
it on
no,
like
no.
this.
Andre said the falls part is funny because I remember like so this little white you he was just there like falls like he was so amped like
People scream it out. People like scream it out. People throw their drinks in the air. Like it's like it's crazy. Like till this day, like that's the Toronto anthem. Like and like even any other thing, DJs that come from out of town, I always tell them, if there's 4 or 5 local songs you play, you have to play Griselda Blanco. I tell them, I'll give them that song. I'll be like, play that. Trust me, even if you're having a bad night anywhere in Toronto, you play that song.
you're gonna get the
You're
place
gonna
turned
get the
up.
Ford. You're gonna get everyone excited again. You know.
That's
So-
good that you
so-
actually give advice to DJs and shit like that. I didn't
Yeah.
even know DJs do that.
Yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's just about paying it forward, and it's just about I know if I travel to like a different city, I would like local DJs. Like I always try to talk to
Tap
them and
in.
be like, and like tap in and be like, like what songs work here, what songs don't work here,
Mm.
right? So it's just kind of like same way, right? And just like, what to play, what not to play,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. So
That's good to implement it even in like podcasting and content. You know, you go other places. Who should you? Yeah, that's actually Andre's giving some gems, guys, gems.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Fuck. I had 2 questions. I don't know which one to ask.
Nah, man, go ahead.
Okay. Since we're talking about the top 5 songs you would tell another DJ to play, what are those 5 besides Griselda Blanco and Come Outside? You have 3 more songs.
Griselda, probably Live Up to My Name, Baka.
Okay.
Jeez.
Pressa, Canada Goose.
Jeez.
Pressa, Novacane. Those are all like anthems. Like those are, and like honorable mentions. Obviously, like Up Next by Robin Banks. I just love that record personally. Freeze by Top 5
Song's
and
hard.
Casper.
That song's hard, yeah.
Gosh, there's so many. Like there's even like if you want like on the
other side, give some from the other side.
Stamina by Big Lean. Like one of my favorite.
The song's really
R&B
good.
What about Duvy? How does Duvy do in the clubs?
Of course.
Does he do?
Oh my God,
Does he
of
do
course.
good in the clubs?
Nightmares, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Duvy Nightmares.
No, because
Duvy Southside.
Because like again, it's hard to gauge, right? Like as sometimes I go out and I have to tell the DJs, bro, can you guys play some fucking Toronto songs?
Yeah.
And by the time they play Toronto songs, the crowd's already dead.
But you know
so
what's
it's like it's
crazy?
hard to really get the crowd into it with these songs.
You're not the only one asking. Now, young kids will run up and they'll all they want to hear is Toronto, which is crazy. Like 5-10 years ago,
That wasn't
you
happening.
play one song, they'd be like, turn it off, next, or they just look at you. You know, now it's like you can play a whole set and you can play. There's a bunch of dope established artists, you know, that you can play. Like you can play at AR Paisley. And people know it, and like people will like dance and spend money to it.
I think I heard you on Vibe one time, maybe one of your sets, and there was like a Toronto maybe little playlist in there, and I was like, thank you, like
Yeah,
that's
you know what, you
all
have
I
to, you have
asked
to, man. Like,
for, man.
You know, but like I mean, I can't blame certain DJs if they don't want to play it. Like I always say, hey, it's up to you as like a DJ, as like a guy or girl, whatever you want to play, whatever you're comfortable playing, like go ahead. But if you see that there's a pocket there that, and especially now that you know, and you don't have to play even just I'm saying the oppie stuff. There's like Afrobeat stuff, like guys like what everythingoshaun is doing, and Bugatti Bonzi, and there's like this, you know, and like Kofi, you know, shout out to Kofi. There's like there's artists that there's like different spectrums, you know, and there's so much dope R&B, you know, like that's like coming out too, like Savannah Ray, and
You gotta tap
Idman.
me into the R&B. I'm not tapped into
Idman,
R&B.
she's incredibly talented, man. Idman, her name is I think she signed to Sony LA. I could be wrong. Or
She works
signed
with
to
Rich Kid.
Yeah, she works with
Rich
Kid,
Kid,
and
yeah.
she was part of the remix. She's an incredible songwriter. She's dope. Like, definitely, you guys need to tap in with her. But yeah, I mean, like, you don't have to necessarily even play like those type. You know, if you're scared and if you don't, and if you're afraid to maybe play the more oppie stuff, like I get it. But there's so much other talent here that you can play that deserves like the play and like the recognition. And guys like Four Corners actually do that at like actual Raptors games. He's playing like Havaya Mighty, Omega Mighty. Like he's playing talent.
He's playing his own shit too.
He's of course, man.
I would
don't
love
blame
to.
him.
I want
That's
to
what I do
interview him
too.
too, yo.
That's what I'm doing too. On my radio show, I'm playing all my songs. Best believe they're getting rinsed.
Yeah, why not, bro?
Hell
Why
yeah.
not, man? You got to give yourself those spins, you know. Got to get that SoCan money somehow.
That's it. Fucking okay, so with that being said, have you ever been involved in a DJ coalition, and why isn't there a Canadian DJ coalition? And if there is, then what is that name?
Yeah, I have been. I've been in a DJ coalition from the States. It was called Future Star DJs.
Me too.
So shout out my guy l-nyce.
l-nyce, shout out
l-nyce.
l-nyce, man.
Shout out my guy l-nyce.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, I was part of that for a bit, but then I think like I don't know what happened. It just kind of like broke apart. I think there was like a problem with like the head guy of it and l-nyce and whatever. But in terms of Canada ones, there's not really any Canada ones that I know of. I know like the closest thing is maybe like there's DJ City Canada, which is like a DJ pool that's like probably the biggest DJ pool in the world, and they have chapters in like different countries. And I'm one of like the reps for Canada, so I guess that's like the closest thing. In terms of why there isn't like a DJ coalition, is just honestly like this DJs like it's like a very selfish game. Unfortunately, like not all, but a lot of DJs only think about themselves, and that's just what it comes down to, right? And like end of the day too, it's just like the way that some DJs will look at it is like, am I benefiting off this? Am I getting gigs off this? Am I getting money off this? Why the F am I part of this pool, or why should I join your pool? You know, like what benefit is there to me, right? So that's something like unfortunately why there isn't. But I know there's like I think it's called the Union DJs in the States, and I know they have
DJs,
some guys up here like Ritz. They have Young Legend, DJ Young Legend, and like a couple other DJs, Capone I think as well. So I mean, yeah, I mean I don't know why. I mean like I hope. And it would be dope if we had one, but at the same time too, I also understand that if there's no benefit, sometimes DJs just don't give a fuck.
I love to support the ladies in the city, and I
100%.
just feel like they don't get that push whatsoever, man.
There's so much talent, even in our city. Like forget about mainstream people like Ice Spice and Cardi and and Meg. I'm talking about like in our city we have like Tia Banks. Like I think she's incredible.
Yeah.
She's one of those artists that her whole persona, if you ever get to be around her, she acts like the way that she raps.
Like a star.
She's like a star, and just like the way she talks and all, like it matches her rap, and like that's how she is in real life. Like
Charmaine's another one that's
Charmaine
dope.
is talented. Goldie London.
Havaya.
Yeah, Havaya is incredibly talented.
Taylor.
Yeah,
Taylor
shout out
G.
Taylor. I like just got put onto her. The other person that was in TT, oh my god, I'm forgetting your name.
Killer T.
Killer T, shout out to Killer T, shout out to
Killer
100
T.
Watts, you know. So there's like definitely talent in the city. Is just, you know, and like I honestly think I have a feeling one of those females will probably, there's a great chance one of them will probably go mainstream before even some male rappers in the city. I won't be surprised.
Yeah, they just got to get the right pull
Like,
from somebody.
Yeah, like the right backing, the right.
Like QC or something has
co-sign,
to follow with it, like what QC's doing with Lakia and shit, you know, just draw for them. Like, you know, you have to be a businessman and kind of put you lay your seeds down everywhere you can just to make sure you have that branch. Like, you know, that's why motorcycle gangs have branches all over, is to make their name known nationally.
Yeah, that's why Hell's Angels became big, right?
Exactly. So it's like lay down the foundation in different countries and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like outside of OVO, like are there really any major labels trying to reach for artists in Toronto and like really trying to, or like many, you know, like you're
Just
not seeing
BFR.
that. Yeah, there's like BFR, but I'm saying with like say like and shout out to like BFR, shout out to guys like Bundog, who's incredibly smart, who's like a genius in like my mind. If you ever speak to him, he's 10 steps ahead of the game. But like we don't really, I mean, like, or even I meant to say in terms of American acts that you're seeing, like say like a QC for example, or like a free bands reach out, and be like let's tap in with someone from Toronto and really kind of, you know, get someone popping.
I think some have, but I also think like the deals have been probably really shitty, and the Toronto guys are not taking it.
Yeah, because kids are
like,
smart nowadays.
I'm pretty sure some of these guys have reached out to Duvy, Press, and like I'm
course,
pretty
of
sure
course.
they've reached out, and the deals are just like, nah, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
like,
mean, like-
I'll wait it. I'm better off doing what I'm doing.
Like I heard, yeah. Oh no, like 100%. Like these artists that if you're doing streams and all, like you don't think like 3 and French and all these guys are getting, of course, like you don't think Roni, of course they're getting offers, but they're not getting good offers that make financial sense. So I don't blame them for saying, you know, like no to the offer. Right? If it doesn't make financial sense for you, then why do it? You know.
Musically, if you exclude Drake and Pressa from OVO and BFR Was Gang, who do you feel like is bigger, OVO or BFR Was Gang? Because I used to have this conversation on my old platform, and I would say it's BFR and Was Gang. I think the amount of music, the pressure that they apply in Toronto. The amount of music and the pressure that they apply when it comes to YG, Burner Bands, Talib just came out. You'll free up Talib, J-Neat. Like it's just so much. Bundog.
Lat Boys.
Like there's so many, and there's so much music.
Little Monty, you know,
Monty.
they have like this little kind of they have something in like their water there.
But we're talking about hip hop acts though, right?
Yeah.
OVO has a diverse sound, like,
but it's more R&B, with the exception of Smiley and Baka. Everything's more R&B. So I mean, if you're talking on a global scale, it's OVO, because if you ask someone in Miami who Roy Woods or partying next door is, they're gonna know.
Sure.
They're not gonna like.
But even them, they don't even put out music. Like I guess it's different too because they're hip hop the way music is,
the way
and
music
stuff
is,
like
you gotta
that.
put out content, you know, and like compared to the R&B.
But Baka doesn't put out a lot of music. Like Baka's one of my favorite artists, period. Right? And I like, you know, he just came out. He's doing something. Shout out Marlon and them in the Extra Gravy. I'm kind of cheesed that they got that interview, but you know, but like, you know, Baka, he doesn't put. I don't know. I just feel like the way that BFR and Was Gang is, they just have a different kind of impact. I guess it's with the city.
Yeah, the impacts with the city or with the country,
yeah.
with like in like pockets of like the country, like they're big obviously in like the West Coast, like Vancouver and stuff. You know, they're huge out there. That's why they can do like sold out shows out there and such. And like they have their fans in Montreal and such too. But I think overall, like on a global scale, it has to be OVO. I mean, just off the name, like Smiley, off of just, you know, like his personality and what he's doing. It's you know, it's incredible, right? So it's like dope to see.
What do you
but
think?
shout out to both.
What do you think of Chromazz's performance at Rolling Loud?
Horrible. It's like a -10 if you could even give it that. But
do you think she'll be able to bounce back?
I don't know. I mean, I guess time will tell. I mean, I think just a couple of things didn't work for her, and I forgot who mentioned it. One Instagram account, I don't know if it was, I think it was RapCapTO, or forgot, or one of those accounts where they're like, she was supposed to perform at, I think at 4, she showed up late, and they put her on later on where the crowd's already waiting for other artists. So the crowd's not going to give you that reception maybe that they would maybe earlier in the day. People are more drunk, they're more high, they're more agitated because they've been there all day, right? So they're not, and two, like unfortunately she doesn't have like the best name and the best track record
or
in
a catalog
Toronto.
or a proper catalog, for her to, like,
yeah, in Toronto. And so she was set up to fail, right? So when she came out, and then she has like some youth sucking her toes, everything on stage, and that's just like, and it just, like people were just not having it, right? And like we all know that Toronto has a very tough crowd. If you can make it in Toronto, you can make it anywhere, because Toronto cards are tough. Like they don't care who you are, you have to show out. And she was one artist, unfortunately she didn't show out. And I guess, like especially as an artist, and I guess same thing happens as like a DJ, when you start to get flustered, you realize like the moment's like overcoming you, and it's kind of like taking over your nerves and your emotions at that time,
Your
where she probably just
decision-making.
and decision making to the point that 1-2's, like things aren't going your way, people aren't cheering, people are starting to boo, then you probably just get frustrated. You're just like, fuck this crowd, F this, I'm just gonna say, I'm the first lady of Toronto, blah blah blah, and you're probably speaking off emotion and anger, and then so she was set up to fail for, at that time slot, and
I definitely agree that she was set up to fail, and I definitely agree that, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what she said, she's the first lady of Toronto. I don't agree with the fact that you think that she was emotional about it. At the end of the day, I think she did what she did. She delivered what she came to deliver, and that was that. Don't forget, I am still the first lady of Toronto. Ha! Boom! Drop the mic.
And then I think like that angered people even more, right? And I think too,
because they know it's true.
Yeah.
They know it's true.
I guess to maybe some of the like the young kids, like for myself, I look at like a Mishi to me personally, but like I guess everyone's take is different, and like that's cool too.
Hey man, Drake crowned it.
Yeah.
Not all.
Yeah.
I hate when like people say like, "Yo, it's the blogs and shit like that." Yes, the blogs help promote her,
For sure.
but
Yeah.
Drake crowned her.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, he did.
let's just say Chromazz comes to you right now.
Yeah.
She says, "Hey Andre, I need management. I like what you're doing. I would like for you to manage me." What do you think, or what would you do with Chromazz?
Like okay, if I was like a manager, I would definitely. If I was her manager, I would focus on making more Spanish music
Boom, my
and
God.
Latin music. Latin music. Like,
Yo,
go
that's
that
it.
lane.
That's it. We don't need to.
Because that there was an answer, and I think she knows it. But the problem with her, because I know Chromazz, I talked to her. I had a lot of conversation with her. She's a real hip hop head.
Yes.
Like her
Yes.
favorite rapper is Big L.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
That right
Yeah,
there is
yeah,
the
yeah.
problem. She wants to be a rapper, and it's just like, yo, bro, you can do the Spanish shit, and you're out of
Outta here.
here.
Just
Done.
you gotta find your lane and what works for you, right? It's like you would even see that with like certain brown rappers, and they found their lane that's saying, oh, maybe going the Punjabi route works, and you're seeing
Sunny
that work for Sunny
Malton.
Malton, Genghis Khan Camouflage.
R.I.P. Sadu.
R.A.P. Sidhu, like you find your lane and you see what works, and it can and it can work for you. And I think with her, if she goes that Spanish route, she can start fresh, and she can start new. And I think if she just works with like some dope producers that make like reggaeton or like that type of music, I think she can definitely flourish in that lane.
I believe so too.
Do you think that they did Mula first dirty?
Yes and no. I mean, like I kind of heard some of the backstory from from what I've heard and what I've been told is that basically it wasn't even Rolling Loud's decision. It was just
Really, the police?
the police pulled it because they, when he had that interview with We Love Hip Hop. Sorry, I mean I don't want to say their
It's
name.
all right.
It's
It's all
okay.
right.
It's cool.
Yeah, shout out to We Love Hip Hop. But like, I heard when he was saying there won't be day 2 or day 3, that was taken as a threat. And like I heard it, like this is what I heard. Whether it's true or not, like maybe people that work for Rolling Loud can probably
confirm it.
confirm. But what I heard is they were told if he performs, we're gonna shut down the whole festival.
That's what I heard too.
And
I
then,
heard if you guys let him perform
on stage, if you even let him on stage, it's gonna be.
I heard that he wasn't even allowed in the venue.
In the venue, yeah.
Yeah, I heard he was banned from the venue. If you guys let him, because
in the venue.
if you guys let him in the
On stage,
venue,
yeah.
we know that you're gonna let him in the on stage.
Yeah.
You can't let him in the venue, and that's what I heard. He was
And-
banned from. Because that's why.
and-
What I was thinking is he would
Yeah.
probably pop up with Pyrex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think that's why people are giving people like Charlie B flack, and I think they shouldn't, because it's not his fault. It's not Rolling Loud's fault. This is from what I've heard, and because if it was up to those guys, they went out of their way, from what I've heard, to make sure he was to be on the show, to even perform. They went out of their way to book him and to make sure he was good to be on the show. So I mean, like unfortunately, they've got and like at least my opinion, unfair criticism.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it's unfortunate, but I think right now he's benefited because of kind of like what's happening and him doing viral things, him doing viral moments. And what I respect about him is that he understands the game. I think he's smarter than a lot of us even believe in, that he's playing into this character. Whether he's like, I've never met him personally or spoke to him personally, but I honestly feel like he's playing up on this character to the point that like he's getting people talking and he's getting people interested in him. And it's kind of like in other sports like UFC and all, where you let people that are like, you love to cheer the villain, or or like even WWE or AEW, you love like wrestling. Like I'm like a big
me too.
like I'll like watch Raw all the time, and like, who do you enjoy? Why would you like The Rock? Rock wasn't maybe necessarily a good technical wrestler, but he was so funny on the mic that you enjoyed him. You were just like, you would tune in every week to see what's this guy gonna say? Who's he gonna insult? Right? So it's the same thing with like what Will is doing. Character development. Like he's really developed into this character. He's taking it and he's making it his own. And like, I remember when he was doing that, you think you can face me? Everybody was saying that. I'm the next Jay-Z. Everyone was saying that.
I did videos with him where I tried to face him, and I looked him in the I was like, I can't face him. Like, you buy into the character.
You buy into the character, and he's very smart. You're buying into a character, right? And then after, you have good music, and now he has so much music, that he has on display. You're like, oh, I like this character. Let me hear his songs, and I like his music, and
I'm gonna buy his merch.
I'm gonna buy his merch. I'm gonna be a fan. Oh wait, he has 40 songs he's dropped in the past 40 months. Okay, I'm gonna watch. And then his streams go up, his views go up. So
it's definitely a sick little thing he did still. Because out of those 40 music, you must like one. Like my favorite is one. Easy.
Yeah.
Way too much machinery. That's my shit.
Credit. I like credit.
Like,
Credit's
I
good.
love credit's good.
Like,
Credit's
even
good.
before he did the music video, he did credit. He put it out before. Credit was one of my favorite. Even like that whole stream of just the 40 videos that he's been doing, there's so many. Just like you said, you can pick so many.
Much,
I like this. I like this. I can pick from this.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, I understood it. At times I do believe it's over the top. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
some of the things are crazy. Going into Wendy's, buying food for everybody.
Like again, the whole like, there will be no day 2 during day 3. Like again, like, to me, it can help and hurt you. In one sense, okay, you got taken off of Rolling Loud, and the next sense, in a couple of weeks, you did the biggest interview, and
you got
viral. You went viral. Shade Room, Drake, everybody's reposting you. So it's like you take the pros and the cons with it. You look at it and it's just like, okay, well, what's the pros? What's the cons? I mean,
but I think with his character, the way he is right now, even if that's maybe not him, I mean, I don't know. He's so like 100% far to the left that he has to keep going. He can't stop. If he changes up, he'll lose any momentum.
You just have to, again, keep developing the character.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You evolve. You change it up. You
and
switch
make
it
music
up
with that character.
as long as
like,
you're making music and the product. Exactly. That I think I know he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be alright, man.
Yeah. I mean, and he's already come. Like he's already, I mean, from him not being on Rolling Loud didn't hurt him at all.
No, not one bit.
I don't think it hurt him at all.
Not one bit.
It's crazy because I know a lot of motherfuckers thought it would have hurt him.
Yeah,
I thought it would have hurt him still. I think I went on.
Well, it hurt. Well, of course, at the moment you're gonna think that he's getting taken off the show. Yeah, of course, that sucks, right? Yeah. But then again, like, it's all about what you do with the moment, bro. Like a lot of people, they would take that and be like, "Well, fuck.
I'm gonna take my L and just put my head in the sand and that's it." But
it's done. But he was just like, "Yo,
he was smart. I'm gonna do interviews on it and talk."
Because
about
even regardless, after you do the show, and even if you have a good show, a bad show, what comes after that regardless? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You still have to think about the moment after anyway.
Yeah, you got to
so.
plan out like 6 months, a year in advance. Like,
Yeah.
okay, what's my plan? Am I gonna drop a single after? Am I gonna shoot a video at the concert? I mean, at Rolling Loud.
Mm.
You know, like what content? Like, what am I thinking about next? Right?
This is why I big up the WAS guys and the BFR guys because they dropped music right after that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? They
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
wait
yeah.
right after they were
know.
filming videos during Rolling Loud. That's what
Yeah.
all these guys should have been doing and dropping
Yeah.
right out. You got the attention. It's
Like Pressa shot a video
hot.
in Driftwood the same weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
These guys are smart. Like the thing is, they don't waste.
But he
time.
knows the industry too, right? He's
Yeah.
getting the industry fucking
From the
runs and
States,
shit. So
yeah.
he knows, okay, I'm here. I gotta make music. We gotta make content.
Yeah.
It would have been sick if Mula like did a video like after the whole Rolling Loud settles and he's just there in the empty in like in between all 3 stages.
Yeah. If he shot day 4 there, that would have been crazy.
Day 4, yo.
I think he'll do a performance and it'll be called Day 4.
Yeah.
Because he's already did the performance with Pyrex.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
the one
yes,
in
yes.
yeah,
with DJ Snoopy did.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think he'll do something like that soon.
That'd
I
be
think so. I
crazy.
mean, like, I think even to piggyback off that idea, I just hope we see more live performances, and I hope that venues allow some of these artists to perform.
Facts.
Like, especially, to see, like, it was a beautiful thing. Like, it's funny, after Rolling Loud, I spoke to, like, my boy FaZe, shout out my boy FaZe, and he was telling me, he was like, when would you ever think that you would get to hear all these Toronto artists perform in Toronto their hits? Like, when do you think you would get to see Pressa perform? You know,
The
you would get
Crook.
to see like Smiley, like the Crook, all these guys
Paris,
perform.
Goldie.
In Toronto, yeah, Paisley, everyone, so
Fact.
it's crazy.
So, with that being said, man, as a DJ, who is the next artist we gotta look for? Like, who is the next artist that's under your watch that you're looking like, yo, I think one more hit and he's out of here. Who is that artist right now?
Oh, that's on the cusp. I like.
Yeah,
Wow, there's a few of them. Honestly, there's a few.
just
of
give
them.
me one.
And there's a couple. If you say like if they get a hit, they're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that can be for anybody, but I think honestly, like an AR Paisley and a Tia Banks. I think because they do well streaming wise. I think those are 2 people. But I mean, even the people that I work with, like for example, like a Stay Out Late. All those guys are incredible. Like Charlie IV, the guy who sings on the hook, like he's incredible. Like he can actually sing and he doesn't need auto tune. And like many artists, and in Toronto, and like I know auto tune's a big thing, but if you can't do it, get a guy like Charlie to sing on your hook. Just have your bag right, and and he'll definitely do the hook for you, right? So, but like there's so much talent, like it's crazy. I know people are gonna get mad. I mean, even someone like a Young Cake. Like he's incredibly talented.
Cake is dope.
Yeah, but he's been rapping for a while though.
Yeah,
Cake.
yeah, he's been here for a minute. But if you mean like someone brand new that's not
No,
really put on music,
just anybody.
anybody
It doesn't matter because even if you've been doing it for a while, you
Yeah.
still need one hit.
Mula's
Yeah.
been doing it for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
Shit.
honestly, there's like so many people. There's so many
Yeah.
people like this. I think even like Robert Banks, like I know he has like a lot of hits, but I think if he just gets that one, I honestly feel he's the one guy that he can really cross over into the States. That's like that. I think his sound is so universal that he would cross over in the States like that. Like I think if he didn't have, unfortunately his injury and such, I think he would have been
No,
would've been
facts.
gone.
Would you say Robin Banks is probably the most influential artist
of Toronto.
of Toronto music underground?
100%. You can't even doubt that because he started that wave. You can't even, and like there's been like other artists that have kind of obviously surpassed him. What Pressa has done, no one, like you can't deny, and what Duvy has done, you can't deny. But you have to give your flowers to Robin Banks because what he's done, it's incredible. From 2015, and I know that time period where you could not play artists from Toronto, and he changed that sound, and he did it in his old style, using Somalian slang. Like who would have thought Somalian slang to the point that the boy was saying TT.
Facts.
But TT's two
But
turns,
TT
no?
was with the
TT
two
two-turn,
with
but, like,
the
I'm
turn
saying,
But I
like,
buy a
is
buy
buy.
now.
Buy a buy,
I
and,
buy a
like,
buy. Yeah, warrior. You know what I'm
warriors,
saying?
exactly right.
Warrior, like yeah.
and he's getting like kids from the suburbs to say that you're having Asian kids saying like all the slang
like
you're seeing
wallahi.
Indian kids,
Say
like,
wallahi.
wallahi, like you're seeing like you're seeing Tamil kids saying that
Yeah.
like an
He
Indian
got
accent.
Kowald and
So,
shit like
yeah.
that.
yeah, so like I have to give him his flowers for that, 100%.
No, you honestly, yeah, you're right about that. Still.
Before I forget, because I have another question, but
Sure.
before I forget, did you have to pay for the sample, the Shaggy sample?
No, unfortunately, we never cleared it. We never cleared it.
Oh,
We never cleared it, but I mean, so far, knock on wood, hopefully we haven't, we don't get that cease and desist. But if
So
we
let's
do-
just cut this then.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's all good. Leave it in. But like, I know from what I've done and from the lawyers that I've spoke to, they said the worst that can happen is that if they come after you, they can only come after the earnings that you've made off the song, which, to be honest with you, wasn't really that much. So if they do have, like, I have that money saved, I'll just give it to them.